What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity here. Hope you guys are doing well. At the start of the new year, I took a bit of a break from Black Ops 6. Decided it was time to just get off and play other games. So I played some X-Defiant, as you're seeing here. Went and played some older Black Ops games as well. Played some Black Ops 2 on Plutonium. Dusted off my old Xbox One and played some Black Ops 3. And then, of course, went back and played Black Ops Cold War. Played a lot of Black Ops Cold War. I do love that game. And one thing became perfectly clear once I came back to Black Ops 6 with the launch of Season 2. This game lacks the identity of previous Black Ops titles. Sure, it says it's Black Ops 6. Sure, it's developed by Treyarch, and I put developed in quotation marks. But it doesn't play, feel, or look like a Black Ops game. This is another iteration of a Modern Warfare game. This just has Infinity Ward written all over it. And yeah, the zombies is fun. The zombies is fine. But that is kind of different than the multiplayer experience. Like going back and playing Plutonium, that's a distinct difference. That's a unique experience. Black Ops 6 just feels like a continuation from MW2, from MW3. And even though it's better than those games in some aspects, it also feels like it's being restricted in others. And when you compare it to a game that released 13 years ago, it feels quite neutered. Black Ops 2, in general, is just a better game. It has more atmosphere, it has more character, and it certainly has far more identity. And it just plays better. And I personally believe a lot of the flaws that Black Ops 6 has is due to the fact that the game is built on crumbling foundation, instead of what we see with games like Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3. Which aren't built upon crumbling foundations. They're built upon solid and sturdy foundations. And even if Black Ops 3 wasn't your cup of tea because you weren't into the advanced movement era, it still plays like a gem today. It's a lot of fun. It's a unique experience in and of itself, because it's the only time that we had something like that, with specialist streaks and with advanced movement. A game with advanced movement that actually never felt too chaotic, too over the top. It worked perfectly. Treyarch accommodated the maps for the gameplay instead of seemingly accommodating the gameplay for the maps, which is what has sort of happened here in Black Ops 6. The maps just simply don't play well because the maps were never accommodated for the gameplay itself. Like I take some of the maps from Black Ops 3, a map like Hunted, for instance, that has built-in swimming, wall running, and boost jump areas, dedicated areas for it. And I compare that to some of the maps that we see here in Black Ops 6. Take Skyline, which is probably arguably the best map in this game. It's just not really fully advantageous to the Omni movement system. It's sort of like, hey, we developed this map. Who really cares what the movement system is? It's a Call of Duty map, and threw it into the game without ever taking into account how fast you move with tac sprint and how quick you can move from side to side with Omni movement. It's almost like everything was an afterthought, instead of it being the primary focus. And that's part of the reason why Black Ops 3 works so well, is you know that the movement was the primary focus of the game, so they centered the maps around it. They centered the experience around it. That's not the case with Black Ops 6. The experience isn't centered around Omni movement. I don't really know what it's centered around. Bad servers, terrible anti-cheat, weird matchmaking. It's definitely not the gunplay either. Because the gunplay in this game is extremely unrewarding. Because it's so dang inconsistent. And some of that is due to the Omni movement system itself. Some of that is due to the poor servers. And some of that is just due to bad hit detection. And it's not like this is the first time Call of Duty's had bad hit detection. But it just feels much more noticeable now. And much more punishing now, especially in a game with movement this fast. This movement this punishing. And then we get to Black Ops Cold War, which is the most recent Black Ops game, right? You know, we know that Black Ops 2 held up as one of the best Call of Duties ever, if not the best. Black Ops 3 is a very unique iteration of Call of Duty, but Black Ops Cold War has a bad rap. It does. A lot of people don't like it, and rightfully so. I understand why people don't like it. I personally think it's great, because it just plays like a Call of Duty game. It feels like a Call of Duty game. There's nothing about this game that is reminiscent at all to what made Black Ops Cold War enjoyable. The movement in this game isn't as good as what it was in Black Ops Cold War. The maps are nowhere near as good as what they were in Black Ops Cold War. And of course, the gunplay itself is nowhere near as rewarding or responsive. So it's hard to see where 4 years of development went, unless, of course, that was all just kind of a smokescreen. Now, part of it might be, but I also think that Treyarch wanted to create a game similar to Black Ops Cold War, and were told to make a game more similar to Modern Warfare 2019. And that type of game just isn't for me. I don't think that anything Modern Warfare 2019 did was groundbreaking. They brought in some of the worst map design we've ever seen. They took out Dead Silence for some odd reason, and they just made the entire gameplay experience slow and boring. And ever since then, they've been trying to speed it up, but like, not organically, not through proper gameplay design choices, but just by adding things like tac sprint to smaller maps, having omni movement on extremely small maps. That'll speed up the gameplay. But that's not what any of us wanted. We wanted more methodical gameplay, smarter gameplay, not whatever it is now, which is just a giant cluster, a brain rot. That's what Black Ops 6 boils down to. And there's some good stuff here in this game. I'm not saying that it's not a game with good ideas. It is. And that's what makes it so frustrating. Because you never hear me complain about Call of Duty Vanguard, because that game had zero good ideas. I don't care about that game. I don't talk about the game. I don't think about that game. I forget about it more often than not. But Black Ops 6 has good ideas. They just failed to capitalize on any of them. They failed on the atmosphere of this game. They failed on the identity of this game. It just feels like Modern Warfare 4 or Modern Warfare 2.75, now with different movement. And that just doesn't bode well for it. They need to go back to making these games feel distinctly themselves, have graphical differences. Like, I even look at Black Ops 1 and Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3. There is a distinct artistic difference between those two games, between those three games, right? MW2 and MW3 back in 2009 and 2011, they look very similar because they are direct sequels to each other. Makes sense. But then we look at the artistic vision of Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. Those look distinctly different than the Modern Warfare series. But you hold up Black Ops 6 to MW3 from last year, the artistic vision of the maps, of the colors, of everything feels exactly the same. And it just doesn't work for me. It just doesn't. And this is why I have a tough time believing this is a true Black Ops experience. Something is truly missing. And yeah, that's honestly all I've got to say today. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this because, yeah, I don't know how you feel. Do you feel similar to me, or do you just think I'm a quack and I'm off my rocker? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in that comment section. Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.